What happened last time?
Everybody thinks that we're full of shit and that we started shit, and then we're like, we're gonna prove you wrong, and then we got the top spot to a simulation, or we got the first seat. So everybody's like, you're gonna fuck it up because the first people always fuck it up, but we're like, fuck you. And so we went into a simulation. We went into a simulation, and we navigated our way past a bunch of asteroids to where there's like a wrecked ship that we got to go investigate now to get a captain's log.
Mm-hmm. So you were sent into a simulation as a first round. See how you guys handle a spell jamming ship now that you have been at the academy for a bit. And the goal of the simulation is to locate and obtain a missing logbook from a very specific ship and bring it back to the academy in the simulation. Anybody remember what they said about the simulation, what the important bits are?
Don't
Get
die.
the ship messed up.
Intact.
Yeah, something was weird. Something was up.
He said keep it intact. That's the intact over
Yeah.
speed.
Right.
Yeah,
The least amount of damage is good. I guess it was like the crew with I can't remember who the ship in the best condition is better than the person who does it first or something.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, it is better to complete the mission and complete it well and safely than it is to complete it fast. Is the warning that you were given, as well as the warning in general of even though nothing in the simulation is real, it'll feel real. And should you die in the simulation, you'll just be essentially unconscious in the simulation chamber until it's over. So you don't have to necessarily fear death, but also don't die. That's not going to make things good.
Nevelier and I also heard that something was like glitchy, but we didn't really investigate that. But
So there's something weird going
Pekway's
on
nervous.
with the chamber you guys could not ask before you were put into the simulation. So, at the end of last session, why is this so quiet all of a sudden? Mess with the sound of it. So, the end of last session, you had managed to essentially navigate across the wild space between Torol, your home world, and the asteroid and debris area a few planets away. You are all staying within the wild space of your home system itself. And you successfully managed to get through this debris field by the careful navigation of Angela and the flying of Button. And as you are approaching this ship, it is in tatters. It is an old flying fish spelljammer. And it looks like looking at it, you can't exactly tell what happened to it. You know that there's asteroids all around you and debris of all sort. That looks like there may have been a battle. But this thing has been bombarded by larger pieces of debris and pieces of asteroid and comets and everything else, that it seems to just be tearing the ship apart even more. And as you approach, I want all of you to just make a Constitution save really fast. So, as you're getting closer, I'm imagining most of you have gone up to the deck. Other than Button, who's still in the chair, unfortunately. Taylor and Tekwe, you immediately feel your eyes just starting to like tear up and itch, and all the rest of you, your eyes are getting irritated, but not nearly as bad. And you realize that this ship is surrounded by essentially microscopic debris of things that have just crashed and grinded against each other so often in space that there is a kind of dust cloud just formed around the ship. It's silvery, and you can lift your hands and move it through this cloud. You can see it swirling in front of you. And it's making it a little hard to see specifics of things. Check this. You guys are not at that part. But as you look, you can see that the front end of the ship is completely destroyed. Looking around, you can see a couple of large chunks a little bit further off that you're like, okay, that's probably where the bow of the ship was. In the back of the ship, essentially the aft castle area is also destroyed. However, it's not been pushed away from the ship. It is kind of caught floating above it, hanging between the increasingly lessening gravity of the ship itself and the gravity of a couple of other large asteroids that are just floating by. And there are boards and pieces of metal and arrow and ballista bolts and what is the other, mangonel stones just kind of floating everywhere. And as you pull up closer to it, Button, you can feel these smaller pieces of debris just kind of thunking off the ship as you're moving it. Not causing any harm, really, but you can feel every single one just tunk, tunk, tunk off the front of the ship. And there's a couple of pieces that manage to break through the air pocket into the gravity of the hammerhead that you're on and just kind of skitter across the top decks at your feet. But eventually managed to pull it fairly close. Button, you, sensing the general area around the ship, know that you're not going to be able to get it much closer. There's too many other larger debris objects that could do damage, and you don't want to accidentally get yourself pinned between asteroids should they move for some reason. So you are a good 20, 30 yards away from the closest railing to the other ship when you bring your hammerhead to a full stop. What are you doing?
I have a question, Z.
Mm-hmm.
So is Button at the helm?
Once you bring it to a stop, you can leave. If you would like.
Okay.
You just know that you cannot, the ship itself cannot move until somebody is attuned to the helm.
Okay. And attuning takes how long to do?
An action.
Okay. Yeah. Button's gonna put the ship in park and hop off the chair and just find their way down to the group. Button has not walked in a while, so it's a little funky at first.
Oh, we need to board and get this log.
Is there enough space for me to fly and open my wings?
There is. However, you are slightly concerned about air pockets.
Yeah.
Should we have somebody stay with the ship just in case?
I can if needed.
Probably be smart.
Do we have a mage hand among you guys that we might need?
Not me. I can give someone,
I guess we have flight, so I guess it doesn't matter. But
a message and guidance. Spare the dying.
I don't really have anything to offer except for being able to push or to pull something towards
What?
me or away from me.
What is the distance between the two ships?
About 25-ish yards.
I could tie some rope to an arrow and shoot it across, hopefully hitting something on the ship.
would somebody
So
have difficulty crossing, like, in general?
I was
Because
gonna.
Gone.
I was just saying I could fly over with the rope. It's just the air pocket is the problem.
I have a swimming speed. I could do it.
I mean, yeah, so essentially, once you leave the gravity of your ship, if you have a swim or a fly speed, you can move however you would like. You do not have a swim or a fly speed. You need magic, or you need something that you can motorize yourself with, like climbing a rope or being pulled by a rope.
I don't think
There is, well, give me, you can, any of you that would like to can give me an Arcana or an Intelligence check. Or not Intelligence, Arcana or Nature. Sorry.
Oh, yeah.
They're the same.
Surprise.
Give myself guidance on the Arcana. Let's see.
Techway.
Damn.
Techway's
Okay.
got this. Oh, Taylor's got this too.
You don't need the guidance.
I'm doing it anyway.
So, Button, as you're looking out at this other ship, you have spent long enough attached to a Spelljammer now that you kind of are able to look at this ship and in your head imagine what it might feel like to have been the Spelljammer for that ship and all of the things that that might entail. And you're looking at this and kind of analyzing how it's been broken up and how things are floating, and you realize that ship, there's something messing up about its gravity plane. As the ship is breaking apart, its gravity plane is also shrinking. And the more it breaks up, the more the gravity plane is dissolving. Techway and Taylor, you both also are recognizing that there's something weird about the gravity here. However, you're also kind of looking at it and then looking at your ship and realizing, that gravity plane is shrinking. Which means that the gravity to hold oxygen is also shrinking. And this is also a very old ship. And depending on if anybody was on it, and who was on it, and how long they were on it, what oxygen it did have, may not be good.
Mm.
Not 100% certain if there is oxygen on it, but if there is, it may not be something that is good for you to breathe. You wouldn't know until you go check them.
Pass along that information.
See, could I have at some point obtained like a fishbowl?
I was
Fishbowl?
A fishbowl.
You can, but you can't make an astronaut helmet from it, unfortunately.
But
That's what the spell is for.
hold up. But if I cast Create or Destroy Water, and water breathes, if I can fill the fishbowl with water and put it on my head,
That's crafty.
That is. I mean,
Wow.
I mean, rule of cool, right?
I really want to say no. I really want to. I will say, if you do something like that, number one, you have to explain to me exactly how you're sealing the water in with your head. Because it'll just fall out when you turn your head. When you turn it over your head. So that's number one. Number two, it'll give you about 3 minutes of air because you are trying to breathe the oxygen out of the water to do that, and there's no oxygen replenishing the water once you leave your air bubble. So you will eventually run out of oxygen that's actually in the water because you're not just breathing water.
so I'll put the bowl on myself first, and then I will utter the spell so that the water fills up around it, so that way I don't like fill it with water and then shove it onto my head. I'll do it the reverse order: put bowl in, fill it, and then what was the other thing I had to explain?
How you're keeping it in there.
I assume I'm like I could
Has-
remove it once I get to the other side of the ship.
I have.
Well, the issue is now there is fishbowl on your head, yes, and there is water in it. But in order for your head to get into the fishbowl, the mouth of it has to be larger than your neck, so it's not sealed against your neck. Are you seeing what I'm
What's
saying?
your idea button? What's your idea button?
Would Angela have like brought up this idea?
Sure.
Okay. Button is going to reach into their bag and pull out a little box of sealing wax.
Hell yeah!
Z with sealing wax.
Like sealing as in like sealing letters wax?
Yep.
It makes sense.
Multiple wax to seal.
Will be very hot on your skin, Angela.
Angela can't feel pain. She's fine.
Okay.
Can we put a rope around as well, just in case? You know, just kind of wrap it around her. Need lots of rope. Does everybody have rope? Can we make a long rope?
I took Create or Destroy Water specifically for this. My character creation.
I have a lot of rope we could use.
You have about 3 minutes of air. Which is
Okay, but that'll get the rope to the other side.
Kayla starts to tie ends of rope together.
Would that use up all the sealing wax, by the way, Z?
yes.
Okay, deleting it now.
Go squad.
Z, your first mistake was having me and Piper as players together.
See, no, it's not, because now I know a target.
Yeah. I mean,
Now I know if you roll a nat 1 and you have glass bowl on your head, guess what happens to glass bowl if you roll a nat 1 now?
Ooh.
Now I know a consequence for a crit fail.
Right before Angela will take off, I will cast guidance on her. Just to make sure.
So my only operation right now is to get rope to other side, correct? Or am I going in deeper?
Well,
We need
first
a
off,
plan.
what is your swim speed?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. It'll take just a little bit of time to get over there.
Okay. Are we all going in together? Once we get the
Ekwe has no way of
I don't
getting
know.
across without the rope.
Name. I think, those that can get across, maybe scope it out and let us know before the
Yeah.
ones that can't die.
Yeah.
Right. I cannot fly, nor can I really move in space. But
You have
I
wild
cannot.
shape, don't you?
It could be a fish. No, not yet.
Yeah, or like a squid or something.
Good.
You get
Space
swim at
squid.
4th level, right?
Hey, squid. I do get wild shape, so
However, if you are swimming in a bowl so that you can breathe, you also are not going to be able to swim across space. That is something I can allow. So you would not be able to breathe.
that is the thing. So
You
and
could
that is
slip
going
into
to
my
be the-
fishbowl.
The smaller
no.
the creature is, the less the gravity for that creature is, so the less amount of air that you have.
So
So I don't think you
that'll
get
be
swim
the.
speed until 4th level, right?
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, no, I don't. No flying or swimming speed.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Druids are like mammal locked for a while.
Yeah.
Till 4
okay.
and 8.
Fair.
So cannot do that. However, Button does not need to breathe. But I just cannot move there myself, or escape from there on my own.
You want to tie yourself to me as I swim?
Taylor's still tying more rope. I can tie you to the rope.
Okay.
So hold Angela's hand.
I just ask that she's like gonna look towards like Trix. I just ask that if you're going to jump or run, to let me know first so I can be prepared.
Oh, well, I thought I wasn't going because I can't really breathe at all.
I think I'm the only one that can breathe.
It looks like a party of 2s going across, but we have the rope if we need to pull you back super quick.
All of the rope. Safety
All of the
rope.
rope.
Safety
We
line.
have so much rope.
One time you wish that there was a barbarian in the party so that you could see them eat the small one.
Oh, Jesus Christ, don't miss.
Okay, so we have Angela going across with Bowl and Button going across? Attached to Angela?
Yep.
Two squishies going over.
Yep.
They're attached to the rope, which is attached to the ship,
I
and
am
we're going to be ready to
tanky.
pull.
I am very tanky, I'll have you know. For a second level character.
Have anything
I should, put note there.
Asterisk.
So, describe to me exactly how you're getting across.
Button is attached to me and also holding my hand, or on my waist or something as I am swimming.
How heavy is Button?
Button's 50 pounds.
50 pounds, okay.
Like, a sack
have
of
to
flour.
swim. Yeah, that's
The
easy to split.
dimensions and weight of a sack of flour.
So you...
Once you leave the ship, would your weight be different?
You are considered more or less weightless once you are outside of a gravity plane. So yeah, once you exit the ship and get like a foot or two off, it's weightless. As soon as you re-enter a gravity plane, all the weight's back.
Mhm.
So you walk over to the edge of the ship and just jump.
And it's on Angela before she leaves.
Is there, like, was I taught any particular way to do something like this?
Boarding of another ship is usually swinging from a rope and just having the two ships be close enough that you can jump from a rope, or like using a grappling hook and that
We
type
have
of
a
stuff.
grappling hook. I have a grappling hook. Can I grapple? Once I get in range of grapple?
The grappling hook would have to be thrown from the ship. You can't. There's not going to be enough. There's not going to be a way to get enough momentum to an item when you are weightless between the two gravity planes.
Okay. Knowing that, could I have thrown a grappling beforehand? Because if I would have known this, I would have done that.
Sure. You can do a grappling hook. You can make an athletics check for me really fast.
Can I just mage hand the grappling hook over?
Yes, if you have a mage hand, you can.
I do.
You
Sorry, save that guidance.
carry across the mage hand, and it hooks onto what exactly you're trying to hook it onto.
Is there a railing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, railing.
Right. So you have secured this grappling hook to the railing.
And then I guess I'll swing / pull my way up.
So you just kind of fall off the side of your ship, holding onto the rope attached to the grappling hook. And there's this moment where you can feel the gravity pulling at you, but decreasing, and it's almost stomach churning. Because there's never been an instance before where you felt gravity all of a sudden lessen. And then suddenly you are far enough away that the gravity is gone. And you are completely weightless for the first time in either of your lives. As you fall out of the sphere of influence of your ship into the wild space between your ship and the derelict. And you begin to pull yourself, trying to push yourself a little bit with your swim speed along. Button, you are just essentially being yoinked by this rope of going from stopping moving as soon as the gravity stopped affecting you and you fell outside of this range. You were just floating there until Angela has moved just far enough to tug this rope, and you feel it around your waist, and you just kind of get jerked forward for a second, and you're just floating after her. And Angela, if you stop for 2 seconds to kind of take your bearings, you just see Button continuing to float past you towards the ship. So that's the direction you're moving in.
A small wave.
I love Button so much.
And as you make it across to the other side, you get closer and closer, and about 10 feet away from the ship, you can feel your weight beginning to return. Gravity beginning to affect you again. And well, you have a bowl in front of your eyes and you don't have actual eyes, so that doesn't matter. As you're getting closer, the ground kind of silvery dust that's surrounding this ship is getting a little bit thicker and a little bit more coarse. And you can feel it on your skin, Angela, just almost like you've run your hand through sand and some of it's still clinging there. And you manage to pull yourself up onto this railing and onto the ship. And almost immediately, you feel the gravity plane pulling your feet down to the deck. However, it is significantly less than the gravity of the hammerhead that you were on. It is almost like, real world example, walking on the moon.
Mhm.
And as your feet land, you can hear the creak and groan of untreated old boards under your feet. And you're smart enough, Angela, and enough of a builder of various kinds, that you realize this ship is almost rotted with how long it's been out here untreated and not taken care of. But you're on the ship. Both of you.
But I know you can't breathe, but can you tell if the air is breathable?
What does the can Button have like a atmosphere gauge?
Unfortunately not. I will make
Okay.
the kind of the DM ruling right now for this, because what bad atmosphere is it essentially gives the poisoned status effect that is breathing it. So the only way that you can tell if you don't breathe the atmosphere is by some sort of like detect poison spell.
Gotcha. Okay.
Not detect air, detect poison.
No, detect air,
So
detect poisons, it's anything like that that would be able to give you a good sense of the air itself. Or the ability
Firebolt.
for it to... Firebolt?
Firebolt. No air, no fire.
Okay, we're not getting that scientific in this.
What? Bitch!
Because it's not that there is no air, it's just that it's bad air.
Okay.
There's too much CO2.
Too much CO2.
Bad air. So,
Yucky air. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. Okay. What? What's up?
Wouldn't that be 0 out of 10?
0 out
10
of
out of
10, too much air, or not enough air.
I was like, yeah, would not recommend.
Do you have detect poison or disease? No.
Yeah, I'm just gonna turn to you, just shrug.
Very well then.
The air is
I don't
air.
think I should risk it either. So I shall keep this on.
Nod. Looks back at the ship. Waves.
you have 2.5 minutes of air left in your...
So it's a 2.5 minute mad dash to find this thing.
Oh,
And I can always recast Creative Destroy Water, so it's not the worst.
Okay. Well, we have the rope from the ship, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Button will double check to make sure rope is secured, and then you see a very tiny autonome wave to the rest of you. Thumbs up.
Vatrix gave a thumbs up. So
Cool.
we can't waste time waiting for them because I'm on a clock, so we gotta go.
Okay, lead the way.
Using my knowledge of Spelljammers and as an engineer, where would Log be?
You know it would more than likely be in some... If there's a navigator room in a navigator room, or a spelljammer room, or captain's quarters, maybe. Something along those lines.
Well, I am a navigator, so I would check the navigation first.
So, as you are heading towards the back of the ship, I want you both to give me either perception or investigation checks.
Guidance, Angela.
Oof.
I don't need your
Oh!
stinking guidance.
Save it
Yeah,
then.
soon though. Soon though.
So, as you're approaching, if you guys scroll all the way down to the bottom of this ship map that you're on, and assume this is something similar. The flying fish ships are a little bit smaller. So essentially, there is a hole that looks like this. You guys are here, heading towards the back. You can see the walls of where the rooms should be, but you can tell that the top deck, the ceiling, is gone. And instead, it's all floating, caught between the gravity planes above you.
Alright. I don't know what that means.
So essentially, everything that is in that like little U shape isn't there. It's like up here, or over
So
here,
the
Oh.
or over here.
So nothing that we're looking for is in this direction? Is that
Okay, so
what I'm
got
understanding?
The
cut and pasted
tables
up
and
there.
the desks and the drawers and the walls and the chests are floating as debris above your head.
Okay, I see. And I didn't see what I was looking for among them.
Well, you don't see a book just floating around, no.
Are the tables like open, or are they like, if I open them with Mage Hand, does a book pop out?
You can start opening them if you would like. Down with a 25. And roll me 3d20s.
3d20. And a 1. And a 2. And a 3.
Holy shit.
So you start moving your mage hand around. And first you open a little chest that's floating by. And inside you can see a bunch of different scrolls. Then you move the mage hand along and open a set of drawers. And inside you just see clothing. And you continue on, and there is what looks like a tabletop writing desk set up. And you open it, and you don't see a book, but you do see a chest inside that is inscribed with the insignia of the captain for this ship.
Okay. Time to open the chest, because that looks
It is
important.
locked.
Okay. I have these tools. Can I try and jimmy the lock?
You are bringing it back to yourself, then?
I would assume so, yeah. Using the mage hand. Can't wait for Space Mimic.
You bring it back to yourself. You have these tools. So you can make a sleight of hand check.
Out of +2, because I don't. And I have guidance. I have guidance.
Okay. So
15 total.
You're crouching down on the back of this deck, trying to fight with this. And you can, in the back of your mind, you know that there's this timer ticking down. And it's about a minute and a half if you've been working now, so you're down to a minute of air left. I want Trixie, Tayla, or Techway to roll me a d20.
Anyone offering?
Go for it, Iris.
Go for it.
I believe in
My
you.
blood is on your hands.
So, you guys are watching kind of impatiently from your ship because you can't really hear either of them. They're over there. They seem to be doing something. You see debris flying around for some reason, just randomly opening. But as you're watching and you see Angela kneel down and take a couple of seconds and then stand up holding something, you also all see two asteroids behind them seeming to crash into each other. And one of them start moving in your direction.
Lord.
Can I use my signal whistle to get their attention?
You may.
How big are these asteroids?
I mean, they've been screwing up some ships around here, so
How does that work with space? Is what I want to know.
we're playing
They're
fast.
just kind of floating.
We're playing fast and loose with
Okay,
with
fair.
certain things, certain
Fair enough.
physics rules.
Understandable. Understandable.
How do you swim through space, Angela?
one hand in front of the other?
Yeah, like how is it? This is a stupid idea, but is it big enough to like kind of push away potentially, or at least shift its course a bit?
You can try to shift its course if you would like. It is not going to be something that you can just magically muscle away by like punching it. No, that's what you're
No,
getting at.
well, not magically, but I'm just saying even just slightly altering its course a bit. I'm not expecting like just ding, ping ponging it or anything like that.
You can try anything just to see if you can alter it in some direction or not.
We're going to try to ray of frost it just enough. Maybe the impact will maybe bump it off course.
And I can use a pull to try and push at it, I guess. Or, I mean, I can fly at it, technically. I mean, we have a minute of air, right? Before the
I
atmosphere.
have a minute of air.
And
No, but I mean, wasn't that how, if you started drifting, you have a minute of air?
yeah, you have
Oh, yeah.
about a minute to a minute and a half.
Did you want to try your idea first, or you want me to try my idea first?
It
I
will
will put it
take
there.
you. Hold on. It'll take longer than a minute and a half for you to be able to fly across the gap, across the ship that the others are on.
Oh, okay, it's
to
that far.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is approaching from the opposite side of the derelict ship.
Okay. I thought it was between us and them, essentially.
And
Okay.
What is the range on your Ray of Frost again?
60 feet, so I'd have to wait for her to get closer before
Yeah,
I can...
it would essentially have to hit the derelict ship.
Oh,
you could hit it.
honestly, when Trixie said signal whistle, we should just go back to the ship for right now.
Take whatever's with you and
Yeah,
start
I'll
heading
take
back.
the chest with me and we'll just return. Because, again, slow. We don't have to do this fast. So,
And yeah, I'll signal whistle and I guess start pulling the rope too.
yeah.
Should I start the ship while we wait for Button to get over?
That would probably be smart.
You might as well. I don't know if we're leaving, but getting out of the way, yeah.
Right, just move it out of the way of the asteroid
Yeah,
once y'all get over.
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Start the
She
car,
goes
start
to
the
helm.
car.
Start the car! Get to the car! Hurry!
So
Starting the car! As soon as y'all get here, I'm ready to scoot us out of the way of the asteroid.
well, I mean, as long as Trixie can keep a good hold on that rope, you can move with them on the rope.
That's true. You
Can
can
I-
go like jet ski, like or
Yeah.
skiing behind us. Okay.
Can I actually tie the rope around the railing?
Yeah.
For as a stable. Cool.
And Taylor, go ahead and roll me an Arcana check. Yeah, you try to go into the Spelljammer and sit down and
Button
attune
left the
yourself
parking
with
brake
this
on.
ship, and immediately there's just this like psychic backlash against you, and you're not able to connect to the ship. You're just sitting there pushing your magic into this spelljamming chair, and it's almost like it is blocking you.
You're not Button. Who are you? I want my button back.
Can she try again before the asteroid gets over?
Yeah, you can go ahead and make me another roll. I will take in athletics from Trixie and in athletics from Angela as well.
Yeah, on the roof.
Can Button assist with the athletics?
You can if you would like, or you can try to be dragging Angela along instead. If you're just pulling yourself along the rope.
Yeah.
I
Again,
don't want to move the ship unless everyone's on a rope. Is everybody on a rope?
I think we're on the rope.
Ooh,
Is Trixie on a rope?
Trix is on deck pulling the rope.
Pull me.
Hey, finally.
Okay, so you, Taylor, are able to you get frustrated, stand up for a second, turn around, and stare at this chair. And never in your life have you thought that you would have the urge to argue with a chair. But the urge is
You
there.
will go! You will get smushed by asteroids if you don't move!
You sit down again and just throw your hands onto the arms of this chair. And you're just shaking your head as you're trying to push magic into it again. And you manage to finally make that connection. And suddenly, you can feel the ship as if it was your own body. You can feel the footsteps moving around as people are rushing around trying to help Angela and Button get back on the ship. And Button, you and Angela rush back to this rope and this grappling hook. Unhook it so that you could move with the ship and keep your grappling hook. And start trying to pull yourselves along. Angela, you moved so fast that you were not able to tuck the box away. And you start trying to climb with box in one hand and just one open hand to scoot yourself along the rope. But as Trixie is pulling it from her end, you're just mistiming when you are grabbing this rope, and you're not moving anywhere. So Button, you just say, fine, let me do it. And you move over and you start climbing the rope and tugging Angela along with you this time. So this time, Angela, you're the one feeling this little tug as Button is just dragging you along through space. And you're floating past her, slowly but surely, as you are both heading towards the ship. And we roll this. Huh. And you start the ship moving. Kayla, it's weird. You have done the spelljamming classes. You know what it's supposed to be like. But it's different when you're actually able to feel the ship. Like this. It's much more real and, to some extent, a little disorienting. As you are both yourself and this massive, magical hunk of wood and metal. But through the combined efforts, your hammerhead manages to get out of the way. And Angela and Button, you guys both are suddenly being pulled into the gravity plane of the hammerhead, reaching out to grab the railings to try and pull yourself up onto the deck proper as this asteroid hurtles into the derelict ship behind you. And the ship in its rotting wood just explodes. And all of you have to kind of duck and crouch, trying to avoid shards of wood and metal as it launches from where it is into your sphere of influence and goes skittering across the deck, and in some instances lodging itself into the wood on the side. And it's just enough, Taylor, that it feels like you're stepping on needles almost. Not enough to, like, hurt her, but not enough to be uncomfortable. But you all managed to make it away from the derelict ship. Still moving very slowly through this asteroid field, you are seeing in real time what happens when they hit your ship.
And would you like the chair back? I'm much better at being able to provide support instead of piloting this thing.
Button pretends not to hear Taylor.
I can cast guidance on you through. I'm sure we have lots of more things to pilot through.
Button isn't
Makes
looking
more
at the
sense.
spelljamming room. Button is focused on the rest of the crew.
Right, this is on Button. We already know I couldn't start the car.
Before we leave, we have to confirm the contents of this box. I couldn't
Mhm.
finish opening it. So let's see what we have.
So you managed to open the chest. Inside was a box that you pulled out.
Oh, okay. Okay. What's in the box?
You
What's in the box?
slowly open the box, and inside you see, first on top, looks like a stack of papers, letters, maybe? All handwritten in that style of a letter, even though you don't see a deer at all. You don't see, like, a formalized sincerely, you just see the captain's name scrawled at the bottom. But as you shift those aside, you see a old, worn leather journal. And you open it, and it is a logbook.
Right, we did get it. Okay. Alright, Button. Let's get home.
Nod. Gonna
So,
look back at the shipwreck. Like, what size would the asteroid that had destroyed that ship have been?
It was smaller than the ship.
Okay.
I don't know a good way of explaining the size comparison.
Okay. Just trying to get like a gauge of, okay,
Yeah,
that size could do that to that ship.
Yeah, it was smaller than the ship, but it also wasn't like a basketball compared to a car. Seeing that, you all know that anything that is at least a fourth of the size of your ship or more is going to do serious damage. Though that ship also exploded partially because it was rotted through just the trials and tribulations of being stuck in space for an extended period without care.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you don't necessarily want to step on a deck that hasn't been treated in, 20 years.
Yeah. Alright.
Once we get out of this asteroid field, you probably should fix the ship, yeah?
Nod, takes out tools.
Pilot this thing! I can help us through the asteroid thing by giving you guidance. I can't guide it myself!
I feel
I think Taylor wants out. The ship misses you.
I don't think the ship is capable of missing. However, I do feel a little bad for ignoring her at first, so I am going to go and switch out with her if she would like. I assume she would like to.
This is happening. Give me a charisma check. Taylor.
I really want the ship to just slap her.
I'll get this
As
ship!
you're calling, trying to get somebody to come help you in this Spelljammer, you're still moving through an asteroid field. And there's just enough distraction in trying to summon Button that you don't turn the ship fully around this asteroid. And all of you just hear the crunch and grind of rock on wood as it scrapes along the side.
I'm gonna go and swap out with Taylor now.
About time! I told you this long time ago!
Runs into their room. I'm really sorry. I did not hear you.
Some bullshit! You know it, Button! Get this chair!
One just takes the brim of their hat and tilts it down a little bit. And going with their hat.
Guidance, now sit down and buckle up!
Nod. Just crawls onto the chair.
Isn't Button the one with mending?
We gotta get through here before we can mend.
I have mending too. We'll be fine.
So, as you have attuned to the ship before, you're always going to have to roll the first time you are trying to attune to a specific spell jamming ship. Once you have succeeded once, you don't have to roll it again.
Oh, sweet.
So,
You have guidance.
unless you're under duress. So both Button and Taylor would not have to roll again to attune to the ship if they end up in the chair.
Cool.
So, note to self: every spellcaster sit in the chair before we take off.
Yep, until it turns on. Yep, until we hotwire this thing.
Alright. Everyone get their this car seats can program to be this person or this person. Everyone gets their programming of how they want the seat to turn, what they want the recline to be at, how close to the steering wheel, get all that saved for each person.
And again, I will make sure that everybody heard the ruling of this. Unless you're under duress.
Yeah, unless you're under duress. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you're got people attacking you, or you're really trying to run from something and you're trying to get in this village, I don't care how many times you've attuned to it. You're gonna have to roll, unfortunately. So I need two wisdom checks from Button.
And it's for all the things fun.
Just
This is what I'm good at. I got the stick for this.
So guidance.
Yeah, you can do your old guidance on it.
Ooh, I'd like to build for success to add another D4.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's just it's a D4, right? Yep. It's another D4. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay.
Everybody sees 12.
Can Tekwe be telepathically like psyching her up? Like, you can do this. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth.
Breathe it all. Just focus because you don't need the air.
Right.
I can't breathe even if I wanted to.
Pretend to breathe in through your nose.
I will let you roll one more time to replace the 10 with Tekwe's pep
Guided
speech.
meditation. Guided meditation is more.
Encourage
That.
So as you take over from Taylor, it feels like just falling back into a chair that you have sat in for years, and it just remembers your shape as it immediately connects to your magic, and you feel the ship as if it's your own body again. And you start moving it through the asteroids immediately around you. These are quite a few of the larger ones, still trapped in kind of the central area of this debris field. And you're moving it through, skimming along past various different rocks, close enough that those of you still out on deck feel like you could just reach out and touch it. And it seems like it's all going okay. Until you are almost out. You can see where the asteroids end, finally. And out of nowhere, a large piece of metal from one of the destroyed ships just comes flying around an asteroid caught in its gravitation, and then enters into the gravity of your ship and falls onto the deck, through the deck, into the cargo bay below. And there is suddenly a gaping hole. Let's see here. Right here. And between that and the initial graze against the asteroid, the ship takes a total of 40 points of damage out of its 300 and something that you guys had last time.
It was almost full last time. They didn't split up all the way, but it was almost back to full.
Yeah, it's at 393, so I just took 40. So
353.
yeah.
Would you guys like me to just make a handout that is editable by everybody? That you can track current statistics of your ship so everybody can see it?
Yes,
Yes.
please.
Okay. I'm gonna do that really fast.
I'm gonna say Amy has them in her notes.
Yeah, but that's like having to go back each time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Figured it would be best for everybody to have something. So you should see a handout that you all should be able to edit. at the top of your journal.
But there's nothing like, I don't know if everyone is, oh, never mind, there it is.
Okay, so yeah.
Got it.
Just put in the title so we can just quick glance it.
That's good.
Smart.
So, and then of course if there's any more specifics, I think you should be able to go in and edit it. Are you not being able to?
There's no more specifics on my end.
I did not put any specifics in. You'd have to click the actual
So-
edit button at the top.
Yeah, we could edit it.
Okay,
Okay,
I
yes,
just put
yes.
test. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we
I'm not giving you, I'm not going to take the time to type out all of the ship statistics for this.
No, that's fair.
Yeah, it's fine.
Maybe once you guys get a full-time ship leader. Who is on deck? Because I know Button and Taylor are in the spelljamming room. Where's everybody else?
Navigation.
Has not left the forecastle.
Let's go back to. Let's delete that.
Oh no,
Trix is
Trix!
Trix! Oh no!
Trix is overboard!
God damn it. This is why I don't do these things.
Oh no!
I feel your pain.
The simulation's glitching. That's all this means.
Oh, my head hurts.
Oh no!
I hate this. Oh, there's the hammerhead. That's not the hammerhead. Oh no.
Oh.
Technical difficulties. There's the hammerhead.
Your annotations at the bottom kind of look like the crab from Moana. Like very abstractly.
Yeah, I see the mouth.
Okay, I'm not crazy.
Yeah. I didn't see it at first because I took it as like a big smiley face, including the dip. Get back. Nice.
Now we're covered.
I'll move it to the map layer when I am done adjusting it.
Give her some time. I'm sorry, I'm still laughing over Taylor yelling at Button.
This show right now.
That's not
It was funny. Taylor was panicking. I'm like, this is not my car!
This is my license yesterday! I don't even know how to pull apart.
I was only supposed to warm up the car for you.
I was literally just gonna pull forward. I wasn't warming. Why am I in the extra forward field?
And where's
You want me to
Trixie?
merge onto a highway?
Yeah, right.
she was
Interstate.
she was gonna go back up to the crow's nest where she'd been previously.
So, Trix and Techway. Give me perception checks.
Moth hater.
Yes, ma'am.
No, not a moth hater.
Okay. So,
Hey!
Damn!
What
God
the fuck?
damn.
Techway, you are far enough forward and removed enough from the chaos that is happening in the back of the ship that I imagine Trixie is just kind of like leaning over the crow's nest trying to listen to.
You know her so well.
You are staring out at where this ship is going. And at first, you're not sure because there's a lot of things moving ahead of you. But something's moving faster than everything else. You lose sight of it behind an asteroid. And a couple seconds later, popping out from behind another asteroid, helicopter view, you see a ship. And it seems like it's trying to circle the hammerhead, but it's very clearly getting closer.
I will immediately telepathically radio the captain and say, ship ho, or whatever they say.
Our captain's
Fortunately,
AFK.
Nevalier cannot be with
Yeah.
us today, so
Our captain's in
acting
Germany.
first mate Angela will give the orders to ship out.
Oh, I meant Button.
The other captain, right?
I
There's-
read captain as
Okay.
person steering the ship, but also I will eventually notify everyone telepathically, like, hey, look.
Technically, there is no captain with this. With how
Yeah.
these are. But, yeah, Neville,
Driver?
first mate, and then the Spelljammer.
That's what I meant.
So Button gets the first call. Button's gonna be on high alert now. Like there's something in the water. In the depths.
So, what do you guys do?
We need to go, correct? Let us leave.
Alright, so are you just trying to push the ship as fast as it can?
We're still
No,
in an
safety.
asteroid.
Safety.
Right?
Yeah.
Is there
Or
like a radio that connects to like other ships?
That would be called message.
Oh. That.
I have it, but I need to be guidancing. I can do both, maybe.
You can.
Is it within 120 feet yet?
No.
Or is it circling far away?
A bit further out.
But when you say circling, like a shark circles?
Well, it's very clearly moving closer, but also staying behind asteroids for the moment.
Mm.
But it's first time you saw it was almost directly in front of you. At this point, it's about halfway along your side, getting closer.
Up to us with, Wow.
I don't like this.
As much as I hate this asteroid field, I have a feeling we should stay in
In the asteroid field? Or is it outside?
It Techway, now that you're kind of watching it in tricks. I imagine as soon as you got the message, you started trying to look out for it. The two of you can see it's smaller than your ship by a bit, but it's definitely not a single person ship either. In fact, as it comes back around outside of around another asteroid into view for a split second, it is close enough that you all can see that it is a squid ship.
A what?
Squid ship.
Squid?
Yes. Let me grab a picture really fast.
Echo's just gonna get in the gun, not hostilely, but just preemptively.
Which one are you heading towards?
Isn't there a gun right at the forecastle right here?
So you're wanting the mangonel?
Yeah.
And there is what squid ships look like.
Ooh.
Is that like a harpoon in the front there?
I don't know.
Je ne sais pas.
Can I try and remember my lessons of ships?
You can make a intelligence or a history. Try and remember what you know about squid ships, because none of you have actually physically been on a squid ship before or interacted with one.
So intelligence or history? So it just, okay. Wish me luck. Yeah, no. Trex is not good with note taking. Or paying attention for that matter.
I mean, tech way, you can also make that if you would like, or are you focused on going to the gun?
Make what?
A history or intelligence check to see what you remember about squid ships.
I think based on the circling behavior, Techway would just like defensively move to the gun.
Okay. So you're heading towards one of the mangonels. And out for the hammerhead ship. So Cody, if you're manning one of the mangonels, you have to look at the stat block for the mangonel.
Okay. And that's in the ship, you said?
Yeah, so in your journal,
Mm-hmm.
it's down
The
in the
hammerhead
abouts,
ship?
and it's the hammerhead ship.
Okay. I'm looking. Got it.
So, let me roll this and see what it says.
Can we tell some of the crew to get to the back one as well?
Yes, you can. And it is assumed at the moment that there is enough of these kind of phantom ship people that the simulation is using, that they can all be manned without necessarily needing any of you to be physically on them. However, one of you would have to instruct that they be shot. So, here. I'm gonna roll this on here. I'm gonna roll this.
Want to make sure whatever guns are manned because reasons this does not look good.
Can I try and see if... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I try and see if there's anything outside the asteroid field to worry about?
You can make another perception if you'd like.
Yes.
So you break away from this circling ship for a second to look out ahead of you. And there's no strange movement or anything that immediately catches your eye. So it does not seem like there is anything.
Okay.
Angela, are you actively navigating still?
Yes.
Okay. Give me an intelligence check, please.
And I got my navigator tools. So I got
+2.
advantage and proficiency, right? And I have advantage because they works the same way, right?
I don't believe I was giving you advantage last time. You only get advantage if both a statistic, like a actual like athletics or acrobatics, and the tools work.
Fair enough.
However, I will give you the +2 for the navigator's tools, so it gives you a 10. That'll be enough to add a +1 to Button's next wisdom check.
While that was going on, I'm reading the mangonel. Can Techway tell crew to load it and aim it?
Yes. So, Button, give me a wisdom check because you're still trying to get through this asteroid field. You're very close. 18, 19, okay.
Ooh.
So even as you can feel people moving around trying to man different portions of the ship, and you can feel the atmosphere of your crew becoming more and more tense, you're still focusing 100% on getting this ship through with as little damage to it as possible. And you manage to maneuver it through the next portion of the asteroid field, and you can sense in the space beyond that you're almost out. It'll only take a couple more seconds to get fully out of the asteroid field should you choose to leave the asteroid field completely. But as you're quickly moving towards open space, it seems like the squid ship realizes that you're about to escape from where they seemingly feel they have an advantage for some reason. And Trixie and Tekwe, the two of you see this ship come around, now behind the Hammerhead. And face directly towards the Hammerhead, and the two of you can see two rotating ballista mounted to the front.
I want to fire.
Jesus.
Damn,
prepping for this
Tekwe don't
moment.
hesitate. Finger on the trigger.
Okay, so you want to fire. So roll me a d20 plus 5 to hit.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that will not hit. As you
Ooh.
launch your mangonel, the stone that is loaded into the pocket goes flying clear above your ship, just whizzing past the mast and the crow's nest where Trixie is, and flying out of your gravity pocket. And as soon as it arcs out of the gravity sphere of influence of your ship, you see it go from arced to straight as it travels. And you realize you didn't account for that. And it just goes wide.
Immediately telepathically lashing the crew that aimed it.
Could I try and tell Button to dodge? Telepathically?
Well, a attack has been made. Thus, initiative order is needed.
I'm sorry.
You know, I'm sure they just wanted to sell us Girl Scout cookies.
Actually, hold on. I was bad, I forgot this.
That up turn order.
There. Okay, now click your tokens and roll initiative for me.
Oh, almost forgot to click that.
Oof.
Hey! That makes up for my poor shot.
Big sad.
And I need an Angela roll.
Angela.
It's really rolling slowly for some reason. It's
Mm.
giving me that movie finish. There we go.
Hey.
And what do I want to use? Hey, this is not Star Wars, but let's use a Star Wars ship for the token for this guy. Yeah, small. So I'm going to go ahead and say there's a 5-10 minute break here, because when we come back, we're going to go over the rules that we're using for spelljamming fights to make sure everybody kind of understands what they can and can't do before we go into it, and this will be a test run to see how we feel about these rules. So, take a 5-10 minute break. And come back.
Ooh.
I mean, Trick saw. They were aiming at us. Like, I had to do it.
gonna say, earlier when Taylor and Button were having their little interaction. This is what happens when we don't have our captain around. There's infighting.
Wasn't fighting, it was panic.
Tomato, potato.
Kayla's survival brain was activated.
That's right. And, you know, the flight wasn't working, so.
Oh yeah, that was.
So it's like, this is a learning opportunity. I'm like, in this chair.
I imagine that, like, because the first roll Button rolled well, the second roll Button did not roll well. Imagine that Button, like, sat in the seat, is like, got the ship right on course, and then got distracted because she was like, Button was probably apologizing to Taylor. I'm just like, I'm really sorry. I just wanted to hang out with everyone else for.
Is it
Fucking crash.
Immediately telepathically bombarded by Moth.
Just the silent insight check. You're full of shit.
yeah, no, it's like, that's some bullshit, Button, and you know it.
That was the best part.
Because Button has been in that chair all fucking day, man.
Oh, are we? We can get back to a, like, when it's not, like, so much on the line for a simulation for, like, Taylor to learn how to parallel park and stuff, but we got shit to do. We'll go back to the road course for Taylor to practice. No, he gets to go.
Nothing like on-the-job learning.
That's right. I'm like, I was only supposed to pull it out of park, you know, and hit, like, put it in neutral, let it coast.
I mean, to be fair, even trying to coast in an asteroid belt, kind of a bad idea. A little bit.
Just a side comment.
Put it in neutral and let it coast into the forest. It's not gonna hit any trees. It's fine.
I moved it. She was like, surely when Button gets back on board, the one that knows what they're doing can be guided. Won't surely take the chair.
I imagine the, like, Button's back was to the spelljamming room. I just hears Taylor calling, just back straight, looks in the opposite direction, tilts head away.
And now we see what happens when you leave Button in the spelljamming chair for too long. As soon as Button is free, they will trap somebody else in there and not save them.
Give Button socialization breaks.
We can do that out of the asteroid belt. Like, seriously. You want to pull over at a rest stop where that's what they're for.
You know, Button has all the faith in Taylor.
Well, it does not.
Taylor's got this.
She don't. Like freaking Titanic. Watch out.
Button just wants to fix things, man. Button didn't ask to be the group's GPS and auto driver, self-driving robot.
Between Amy, Mandy, and Cody, I love how many more memes there are in this session, in this campaign, compared to everything else. Because just looking at Discord, meme. Do
that a lot.
Like, we don't even do this many memes in the freaking Goth Girls.
That's because you put the memes directly into the freaking campaign. You don't need them in the Discord because you just put it directly in.
Equay knew something was up with that other ship. Like,
yeah, the ship's like sus. That's sus.
Very sus. Very sus.
Oh.
Imposter.
So what I'm hearing is I hear everybody else. Is there a Piper here? Okay.
Piper has pizza, so Piper's happy.
Okay. Piper
What
is
kind
being
of
fed.
pizza?
Costco pizza, the best kind.
Ooh.
Cody, yeah, you get it. You understand. High five.
So we will go back into this. And I will walk you through the rules a little bit first. And then we're going to see where it is. Remembering, this is the first time I have played with these rules also. So, we're all learning today.
So you're an expert, got it.
So all of you did take an officer position. So I would advise pulling up the cheat sheet that is where you can all easily see and find your officer roles. How this works, how I'm going to be running this, is you can do any action that you would normally do or have access to on your turn, or you can do any of the additional actions that your officer role gives you. So, for instance, let's go here. First
I'm
one, I believe.
having trouble finding that. Is that important knowledge? No.
Yeah, same.
It
Where's
is
that
rules.
at? Rules. Thank you.
Spelljammer rules. It is the officer rules move.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So for instance, like Angela's navigator. So you have the option for like coordinate movement, coordinate attacks, take the initiative, those things. All of you should also have the ability to do the take aim action, which is focusing on the ship's weapons. So you can do any of those actions that is listed for your officer role, or any that your character would naturally have, remembering that the other ship is really far away, so a lot of spells are not going to be able to reach that far right now. We'll go through initiative order as normal. However, the turn that everything affects the ship happens on the Spelljammer's turn. So as Button is the current Spelljammer, if you're wanting to fire weapons, it will happen on Button's turn. The ship is not counted as having moved until Button's turn. All of that happens on the current Spelljammer's turn, whoever is the Spelljammer at that time. Alright? So anything you're doing to affect the ships, to affect the crew, to affect the weapons, is all going to build up until, since Button rolled 5, the very end of the round. And then it will all take effect then. Whoever is the Spelljammer has the most things to juggle. Hi, Amy. We're gonna talk for a second.
Taylor would make an amazing Spelljammer.
So, if you look at the Spelljammer section, you see the ship actions. It says you can do any or all of those bullet points. You can move up to its speed, you can turn up to its agility, you can attack with as many weapons as can be fully manned, and you can take any special actions that are specified by the ship's stat block. So you can have all of the different weapons fire. You can, if you choose to ram, because the Hammerhead has a ram ability, you can choose to take that action. You can move the ship. Additionally, you can expend a spell slot to do the shields up or the thrusters. You can do the onboard defense. Or you can cast a spell through the ship. So any of the spells that you have, using the ship as the point of origin, you can cast. So even if you're targeting Trixie up on the crow's nest, because Trixie is touching the ship, you can cast a touch spell on her. So you have extremely extended range on your spells. So long as you are attuned to your spelljamming helm.
Okay.
Alright?
I do have a question on that. I don't think it's going to be applicable or useful in this fight, but say there was a situation where Button would cast Thunder Wave while attuned. Would that be like Thunder Wave originating from Button, or would that be like surrounding the ship?
You would have to specify. It does not make your attacks any larger.
Okay, so like, but it could be the 15-foot cube could be anywhere from the ship, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Anywhere from the ship or on the ship.
Okay. But yeah, touch spells could be through the ship as long as someone's touching the ship?
Yes.
Huh. Okay.
That is your kind of consolation prize for being trapped in a chair. And of course, you can choose to leave the spelljamming helm. It's just going to be you can no longer push magic through the ship, and you cannot move the ship. But you can leave the helm at any point, like should there end up being a boarding party or something, that you want to go, be bonk druid, you can go be bonk druid. Just know that the ship will be stationary. In addition to that, I am running with essentially a mob rule for your crew. So you will all notice if you open that Hammerhead document that all of those weapons have a minimum number of crew needed to man them. 3 for the single ballista, 5 per mangonel. Okay? So even if one of you is manning them, if you don't have any of that spectral crew to help you, you're not going to be able to fire it because it's too big. Alright? You have 20 crew. They each have 4 hit points per crew member. Okay?
About to be busy.
Wait, repeat that?
There is 20 total crew outside of the player characters. They each have 4 hit points, which is a total pool of HP of 80.
They're basically cats, okay?
And how I'm going to be doing this for my sanity is I'm not going to be dealing with 20 individual HP pools. I am dealing with the single group HP pool of 80. Every time something happens to decrease that HP pool, every 4 hit points that it goes down, you are losing a crew member. Okay? So anything that hits the ship or damages the ship has a potential to do damage to you or do damage to the crew members. Alright? In fighting, your primary points of focus, you can shoot the ship, you can shoot the weapons if you can reach it, you can just aim for the crew in general, or if there's a specific crew crew member that you see that you want to attack, you can try to aim at them with the ship's weapons, with your own magic, with your own weapons, whatever. I need you always, always, always to specify what you are attacking if you are attacking before you attack. Okay? And in regards to enemy ships, for my sanity, whatever enemy ships you're dealing with, all of their consolidated movements and actions and everything is going to happen on a single turn. There's not going to be a whole bunch of different initiatives thrown in there for the navigator for an enemy ship, the spelljammer for an enemy ship. It's all going to happen at one time. Simply to facilitate when eventually you guys are fighting a bunch of ships. I don't have the spoons for it, okay?
Understandable.
So, does that all generally make sense? Okay. Any questions before we start trying this?
So technically speaking, having the person who's doing the spelljammers sitting in the chair or whatever, having them have low initiative is usually a bad idea.
Well, it depends, because now, if all of you are taking, like, the take aim action, and, giving advantage to those weapons, all of you, you should be able to give advantage to all 3 weapons before they actually shoot. Because Medical Officer Taylor decides, I'm going to do take aim, I'm going to direct the crew to aim one of the weapons. You're giving advantage to that weapon when it fires on Button's turn.
Okay.
Because it does not fire until Button's turn.
But defensive wise, that's where it's kind of like,
So yeah,
Okay.
the trade-off is Button's not going to be able to do, like, onboard defense or shields up before the squid ship goes. But all of you can offensively get the weapons primed to possibly fuck some shit up.
Okay.
So that's the back and forth of these types of battles. But once Button goes, depending on what Button does, it affects the ship until her next turn. So if she does shields up is going to be there until Button's next turn. Okay. So is there any other immediate questions? No? Okay. So let me go over here. Let me turn this down for a second because this is going to be loud. That's apparently what Githyanki sound like.
Oh shit.
So, this Techway fired the mangonel from the front of the ship, and it sailed clean over the hammerhead into the gravity plane of the squid ship behind all of you. It is still a good, let me see here, like 300, 400 feet out right now. So it is a ways away, but it is approaching quickly. And instantly all of you know, they're not going to want us to leave. Trixie, up in the crow's nest, you have the most ease of action as you see this mangonel miss. What would you like to do?
So they seemed to want to keep us kind of in the asteroid field, essentially.
You think so? They seem to approach as soon as you got close to the edge of the asteroid field and increase their approach.
Okay. I hope this isn't a dumb idea, but can I do the change position to get our speed going?
Position Spelljammer 6.
Because you said we were really at the edge, so I think a bit of speed would be good.
Okay. So, which position are you going to?
First.
First position. So, you direct the crew to start unfurling the sails, and the sails that you had tied up as you entered into the asteroid field, concerned about things ripping them and getting into them and tangled in the lines. They unfurl, and you can see them instantly billow out as they catch the astral winds. And Button, in your chair, you can feel the ship kind of surge around you, moving faster, but also you know it's going to be harder to control at this speed. But it's moving.
Okay.
Is there anything else you would like to do with your turn?
I think that's all I can do, right?
You can also do any bonus actions if you have anything that you think might be useful. You can do bonus actions, you can move, all that.
No, I just want to keep eyes on this thing. So,
Okay.
but yeah.
Technically.
Well, I think Tekwe would direct the crew to take aim again for the next shot.
Okay. Specifically on the mangonel up at the front that you're at, correct?
Unless I can make it, because it's behind us, like, if I could make it to the back mangonel, I would try, but...
As long as you are in ship-to-ship combat, I'll say you guys can pretty much move around the ship however you need to. I'm not going to micromanage that. If it should ever move into individual combat, like you're starting to get boarded, then I will start tracking your movement more.
Well, then Tekwe would try to go with crew to the stern castle and aim that one.
Okay. So that one has advantage currently. Is there anything else you would like to do?
No, because I don't got nothing for bonus actions.
Okay. Taylor, what'd you like to do? Mondi, are you here?
Oh yeah, I said I was gonna run and do the Stern Castle one since I was close, but I don't want to leave buttons.
Oh.
So yeah, you're fine. We'll figure it out.
There
We only have the two, the one at the front and one in the back, right? Or
well,
no?
those are the two mangonels. So you have the mangonel here, where Tekwe is. You have the mangonel here. Thing for me. There we go. And then you have a ballista here. You have 3 weapons on the ship.
Gotcha. I guess I will. A button. I should probably go and get ready to be the medic and stuff. I'll come back in a minute, and then she'll run and go take aim, or have them take aim with the ballista on the front.
Okay, so you're moving up to the ballista and giving that one advantage. Alright. Is this good ship's turn? Well, was there anything else you would like to do?
I don't really think one of my bonus actions are... Bonus action is like healing word and stuff, so nobody needs healing yet, but...
Gotcha. So... Double check this really fast. So this one is going to speed up just a little bit. You can see that it is losing distance, not super fast, but it is moving faster than the hammerhead currently is. And let me see what these do. It will fire first with 1 ballista at disadvantage. It is too far. 1 at disadvantage as well. And then back, that one will be at advantage. So let's see here. The 2 ballista at the very front of the ship, you can see them rotate towards you, these massive crossbow-like weapons peeking out from their forecastle, and they both shoot, but the ship doesn't account for the asteroids and debris still flowing around, and both get knocked out of the way by debris. However, Techway, you are far enough back and high enough up that you see just a glint of something metal at the very back of the ship, and you realize they have a mangonel at the back. And it launches a stone in your direction.
Oh no.
And they account for the change in gravity. And it crashes down into the tail of the hammerhead, just behind the Spelljammer room. Button, it doesn't break the room, but it is so loud that you instinctively kind of hunch down in the chair and have to lean around, double check that nothing actually came through behind you. But the ship does take, let me see here, that may go now, does plus 5 to that. Okay. Come on. Need to stop using this one. It's really slow for some reason. A total of 27 damage to the ship.
Okay.
And that's all that they can do. So, Angela.
I'm going to use my action to swap initiative with Trix. And that's all for me.
Where are you getting that ability from?
It's my navigator take the initiative.
Okay.
As an
gotcha.
action, yeah. Yeah.
Just reading this because I'm trying to memorize all of this myself.
Yeah.
Alright, so you'll be starting combat next turn. And it goes to Button. Button, what would you like to do?
Whew. Well, I guess we'll do the ship first before Button's turn. Because Button can do all the ship actions, not including Button's own bonus action. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, priority 1 is get the fuck out of Dodge. So it's going to be moving up to the ship's speed, which is 35, but I get a plus 15, right?
Yep.
From Trix.
Mm-hmm. So it's 50 feet.
So 50 feet forward. Not turning, really, because we were right at the edge of the asteroid field, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's just a straight shot out. And I'm not ramming, that's bad. And, haha, fire.
Okay, so you are firing the
Weapons. Attack with as many weapons that can be fully manned by the current number of crew members.
Okay, so that is all 3 of them currently. Techway is on one that has advantage currently. So you can roll me 2 d20s. Cody.
Isn't Taylor one at advantage too?
Yeah, she is.
I'm going one at a time.
Okay.
So I'm rolling 2d20s?
Yes, 2d20.
Hey! One of them's good.
Right. So then, oh no, I closed it. I believe it is 5d10 for the mangonel.
I also closed it.
Yep,
Yes,
5d10.
5d10. Music.
so you can roll that for me. 20 total damage. Okay.
Dad, so many ones.
Oof. Feels bad, man.
Alright. Okay. Alright. And then Taylor, you're at advantage in the ballista. So roll me 2d20s.
Whoo!
Oh, that's a
20! Whee!
postage.
Nice.
Fucking go!
And that is 3d10 at the ballista.
Yeah.
But it's doubled, right? Because crit.
I'm doing the standard with the weapons that we tend to do with this group. So it is 14 plus 30
44.
plus 6.
50, then. God
Quit
damn.
hitting button, ship!
Alright.
Leave us alone.
And Button, as there is nobody else manning the other mangonel, you can roll 2d20s. Actually, it did not have advantage, so it's just the one. Nobody gave that one advantage. I apologize for that. Plus 5, so that's 14. Just misses the AC for
Is
the
it
squid ship.
much closer now? Like, where are we at now with
Now
distance?
that you have moved forward with this increased speed by Trixie, it is not catching up to you.
Okay, cool.
It is kind of at the same speed for the moment, as far as you can tell.
Like maintaining distance?
Yeah.
Cool.
And then let me check one thing in this rule set really fast before I start the round again. Okay. Oh, there we go. And let's see. Let me edit these really fast because yep. You're here, and then you're here. Angela, start of the round.
Oh wait, it's Button's turn.
Oh, guess were you the wanting to do something with your turn specifically?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay.
Okay, so they have their weapons pointed at us. How far are they from us?
They are about 400 feet away from me currently.
Okay, well, Button is going to use their action to shields up. They're going to spend the spell slot, so the AC is going to be 18. So it's going to be AC equals to 3 plus 1 per. Okay, so it's just a plus 3 bonus.
Plus 3 onto the AC of 15, so 18 for
Yep.
the next little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Now, Angela.
I am going to swap initiative with Button.
Okay.
So now Button immediately takes her turn.
So, down here.
Alright, got to 5.
You're up here. Button, what would you like to do?
Well, while still there and kind of in range, have everyone fire the weapons and then get the fuck out of Dodge.
Okay, so none of these are at advantage. Cody, roll me a d20.
Cross your fingers.
Nope.
Oof.
Taylor, roll me a d20.
No one crossed their fingers, damn it!
You hit it too fast.
Okay, roll me 3d10.
Woo! Hey!
Ooh, Taylor,
Hey, killing it.
you're a
Amy.
healer,
Guess what?
but
Roll me a d20.
oof. Taylor is killing it, literally.
Okay.
Do
Obviously, she's built for fight, not flight.
Mm-hmm.
At least for the ship, anyway. For so.
And sorry, what were you saying, Iris?
question.
Hmm?
Since she's going again, does the sail positions effect happen again then?
No, because the ship is already gone.
Okay.
Essentially, all the stuff that you do gets canceled out after a ship's turn is done.
Oh, okay. I thought it was just like it sets you on autopilot essentially.
No.
Oh yeah, I thought so too, because it says. Okay.
Let me reread it really fast. This is bosun. Remains in that position. Change. Okay, yeah. So until changed again, it would continue to affect.
Faster.
It would be
Another 50. 50 movement.
I'll allow it this time. I'll have to look at that and see how balanced it makes it later. But another 15 to plus 30 onto the speed for next round. But was there anything else Button wanted to do?
No, not at the moment.
Move out of the way, right?
We're continuing to fly at the
Yeah.
15 from before
Yeah.
the tricks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but AC is 18, still moving out of dodge, and all the attacks are done. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, Techway.
Not having great luck. Techway's gonna brace for impact.
Crashing or ramming, okay. Brace for impact. Taylor.
How many crew are injured? I have to pick between whether I want to
As
take aim or.
the last attack was against the ship and not the crew, no crew are currently injured.
Right. Only thing that she can do as far as her stuff with the medic is take aim.
Okay, taking aim on the bonus stop.
Sleep in bed with
Richard's
you.
turn. Let me see here. And it is going to continue to chase. It seems like it is falling behind slightly, but not fast enough for any of you to be wholly comfortable with it. And is going to attack. That is a miss, that is a miss, that is a hit. Hits with a 19.
Oof.
And does 29 in damage to the ship.
Oof.
Oof.
And it looks like what damage was done to it. The ship, as it is a smaller, slimmer vessel, damage to the ship seems to be affecting them just a little bit more, because the more you break the thing that is giving you gravity, the harder it becomes to deal with things. And looks like there is a scramble among the crew on the ship to try and do some emergency repairs behind you. but they are continuing to pursue.
Wait a second. Sorry, go ahead.
Trixie's turn.
I have a question, Z.
Mhm.
So, tech weighted brace for impact,
Mhm.
right? So, did you already reduce the damage?
Double check this. Brace for impact.
Reduces it by 2d10.
For crashing or ramming.
Ah, okay.
So
Crashing
they
or ramming.
Oh,
rammed you.
I really
Emergency
didn't
repairs
understand
next
that.
time.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry,
That's fine.
everyone.
We're all learning.
Oh, so you meant emergency repairs. Okay.
Well, I just thought that meant decrease damage. I didn't realize I should have read better.
Yeah, all Spelljammers will have a ramming option because they ram ships generally to then try and board. Or potentially, if the ship runs into an asteroid, that would be crash damage. And that would be reduced. So that is where crashing and ramming damage specifically is something you might want to consider, especially when you're talking about like crashing into something rather than ramming or being rammed, because the damage an asteroid is going to do to you is going to be a lot worse than the damage a squid ship is going to do to you.
Fair. I know better for next time.
Trixie.
Emergency repairs?
Emergency repairs.
Because just making sure though, since the position hasn't changed, that's just stays essentially,
Yes,
right?
that 15-foot increase continues.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll go for emergency repairs.
Alright, roll me 2d10.
Okay. Could be worse.
7 points of, you rush across the
Shielding.
ship trying to patch up what you can with duct tape and hope. And then it now has 7 temporary hit points. As you manage to kind of reattach a couple of frayed ropes that look like they're probably gonna shake loose soon, but this'll do, and try to set this railing back up into its spot, and just like, if I just like put some spit on this, it'll magically make it stick. That's good enough, and you keep running across the deck. Angela, your turn.
I used take initiative, so I can't act.
That is right. And we are start of the round. Button.
Fire and then E.
Okay. Fire. Techway. Roll me d20.
Yeah, that sucks.
Taylor, roll me 2d20.
I have a question. Can I use
just
my
hits.
favored by? Okay, because I was gonna say, is it okay if I use my favored by the gods when I miss, since it is a feat that or a feature that she has that she can add to an attack roll?
Yeah, you can use Favored by the Gods for the weapons.
Okay.
But that just
Okay.
hits because you do
Okay.
have a +6 to hit. And
So it
you
was
roll me 3d10. Right. Y'all are doing a number on this ship. And then Button. Roll me a d20. Okay,
Plus.
that'll hit. Roll me 5d10.
$25.
Ooh. So, as you launch the other mangonel, or as the spectral crew do, the mangonel from the far end of the ship sails over the hammerhead, crashes into the squid ship, and you all can see, those of you on deck can see, just the pieces of this ship flying off in chunks. And then you see a handful of Githyanki crew floating off with it
Oh.
into the void. And you can see other crew members trying quickly to throw out ropes to them, trying to get them back. But it is still in pursuit, and Tekwe, you are close enough and have a good enough perception that you can see behind the two ballista what looks like maybe an officer shouting orders and physically not letting his crew leave the ballista as he keeps pointing and gesturing towards your ship.
Do we all know what that is? Like, in character?
Know what is?
Gith... Rock...
Githyanki?
Yeah, that.
I
Yeah,
play slaves.
You would all know Githyanki because there's probably one or two at the academy. Essentially, all player races, you would have encountered at least one at the academy.
Okay.
Because that is a kind of intergalactic point for spelljamming, or at least the immediate wild space spheres around Toril know about Spelljammer Academy as a place to learn about spelljamming.
Okay.
So you may not know the history of them, but you would have seen one or two.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then shoot and moving. Anything else button?
Let me double check. Okay, move up to speed, turn to already attacked. I don't want to ram them. Fuck that. Button has one spell slot left. Does it look like... Are they still on hot pursuit?
They are still pursuing, but you also know that you are almost completely out of the asteroid field now. Just be a few more seconds and you'll be out.
Oh, I think Button wants to get out now.
Do it.
So, I'd like Button to use their last spell slot to activate the thrusters.
Okay, you use thrusters, which... What spell slot is it? What
It's
level?
a first level. We're level 2.
30
So it's
plus
another
15. 45 plus your hammerhead
50.
speed.
Yeah. The fuck out of Dodge. I want out of this fucking asteroid field. This is not good.
So all of you feel this ship lurch underneath you as Button, you push all the magic that you have left at the moment into the ship to push it forward. And it feels like the ship itself is now moving with the astral wind. The sails are at their full extent. You can hear the ropes straining against them. And you all manage to get out of the asteroid field. And you see behind you the squid ship stops pursuit, but it looks like it's still planning on making one final attack. Tekwe, what would you like to do?
Well, realizing that the bracing really didn't do much other than like Tekwe like holding the gun that they were on, they're going to take aim.
Okay, take aim, giving an advantage. Taylor.
Game.
They are going to do one final attack. Trying to see if they can do anything remotely useful here. Huh. And they all fail. As you are moving faster and faster out of this asteroid belt, you see the two ballistas firing, and you can see the stone from the mangonel flash through the air, and they race towards you across wild space. However, they both, all three of them, just seem to spread and don't even make it into your gravity field. Just continuing to race beyond the ships. And you all get out of the asteroid field and the Githyanki stop pursuing. Seeming to turn back into the asteroids. And it takes only a moment for the ship to disappear amongst the debris and chaos.
Button probably just like the thrusters is just on, and Button is gunning it until the thrusters, like the magic fades from where
I
it was
mean, can we
boosting
still
the thrusters.
fire?
What?
What?
That would depend on Button. Do you want to fire one last time, take a pot shot?
Oh, I thought it was over already. I mean, sure.
I mean, I think
Okay.
it is, but
I mean,
Techway's mad.
Techway's at the guns.
I'll say if you want to take one last pot shot, you can take a pot shot. It's up to Taylor and Button if they want to also take pot shots.
Yes.
Okay. So 2d20 Cody.
Oh,
Plus
what the
5,
F?
14. Nope. Taylor, 2d20. Yup. 3d10. Ooh. Do you want to take a pot shot, Button, or you just want to get out of there?
I mean, they've already stopped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Button's not gonna take a pot shot.
We're firing for intimidation at this point.
Make sure that wing won't get repaired anytime soon.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Button's gonna ride out that boost for as long as it'll carry them, before starting to help with repairs.
Alright.
I actually have a question.
Mm-hmm.
That piece of debris that kind of fell into the ship,
Mm-hmm.
could we use that to like reinforce some of the repairs? Because it's metal.
If you have the tools and ability to reasonably do so, you can try.
I will suggest it to Button since she has mending.
Button has all the tools.
I have mending too.
I will suggest it to the crew because they have tools in mending. It seems like really useful material to just kind of waste.
Gonna knock on the metal.
Just to reinforce some stuff.
Mm-hmm. It could be useful. It's a very strong alloy, though, so we can use it.
Yeah.
What is that, a D10?
I closed down the sheet. Let me reopen it to find that. I was like, cool, we're out of combat. Let me close this. No, you guys want to mend. Let me open it again. It's on here somewhere, damn it. Where'd it go? Nobody is talking or RPing right now. Just say what you're fucking wanting to say. Why are you
Well,
all
you guys are
typing?
talking like you guys are fucking talking mechanics. So, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. After the thing where Button tops down from the seat once out of danger and emerges from the spelljamming room, we'll go to find Taylor.
Wait, are we done with the simulation?
No.
Like, did we? Oh,
You gotta get
Still
back to
gotta make it back.
Spelljammer Academy.
oh, we have to make it
Mhm.
back. Okay.
I don't fucking know where it is. So yes. D10s plus your spell casting ability.
That's a D20, not a D10.
Yes.
So 9 plus, so 13.
Yep, a 13. And a mending from you. Button.
That's 10. So the
23. Plus, if you're wanting to try and use the metal, I'll say it gives you another 10 points. 33.
So we are at a solid 330.
And where's the logbook?
In the navigation room.
Which would seem to be empty if you are mending. Taylor is the closest one. You can feel everything on the ship. You are taking over the spell jamming. Apparently. You feel where your friends are. And you feel where the various crew on the ship are. You know nobody is in the navigator's room. But there's a noise in the navigator's room. A noise implying somebody moving around. You all just hear, imagine the mildly panicked voice of Taylor shouting.
And you just hear Angela's footsteps making a mad dash, like, wait, excuse me?
I imagine that Button was with Taylor talking apologies back and forth. Just
What's going
turning.
on in my navigation room?
As you burst into the navigation room, Taylor, or Angela, you see two shadows. One fully formed, floating beside your navigation table, seeming to be going through the various maps and utensils there and just dropping them on the floor. And another emerging from the logbook.
Emerging from the logbook?
Mm-hmm.
Gonna shut that shit
Roll
close real
me
quick.
an Arcana.
Okay. Let's say about to close that fucking book right now. And my dice is again doing the photo finish, rolling really slowly.
Okay. So, you know just enough about magic. Which one is better for you, history or nature?
Nature.
Nature. So, you know just enough about magic and just enough about nature that you recognize these are dark ghosts. Undead. Figures that are tied to what you assume is the logbook. Seeing one emerging from it. They are twisted beings held by dark base emotions and impulses to this plane. Things that thrive off of draining others. And as you burst into the room, both of them turn towards you and start moving towards you.
Moving hostily towards me.
They are essentially what shadows look like is like shadow figures that you hear about, like paranormal stuff. So they're just moving towards you.
So this is straight out of Corpse Party. Okay. But they're not moving quickly, right?
No. Not moving quickly,
See?
but moving
They're
towards
not
you.
moving quickly. I'm going to gently kite them back. Just take a step back as they take a step forward. Watching where I'm going. Sort of like, guys, I am in need of assistance here, perhaps.
So
Poke's
you
head.
head them towards the deck. And Button, you walk over and peek around. And you see these two shadow figures moving steadily towards Angela. Seeming wholly focused on her at the moment. You can also roll me an Arcana or a Nature button.
I'm bad at both of those.
Yeah, no, it's just like floating shadow things to you.
Prepares.
Not, yeah, you're nature-y enough. You know enough about the world that you're like, those aren't natural.
The fuck's this shit?
Wild.
I know it's natural. This ain't it, Chief. This is weird shit.
Trix will swing down from the crow's nest and kind of land back here. Or here.
You land on the deck just in time to see Angela kind of stepping out of this doorway and to the side, and you see moving through the doorway at the same time, passing through the wood, two shadow figures. And as soon as they make it onto the deck, one continues after Angela. The other one spots you. Starts moving in your direction.
Anyone know what this is? What we're dealing with here?
You can make
Can I at least
an
figure it out if
Arcana. Trixie.
can I at least figure out if dealing with these guys would harm the book in any way? That's all I'm really concerned about at this moment.
No, because they are things that attach themselves to objects. The object is not necessarily affected by them. They're kind of
In that case,
magical, spiritual parasites.
oh well. In that case, I got this little spell called Guiding Bolt that I'd like to introduce them to.
And Trix, you see these things, and you know just about everything that I told to Angela.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I got a guiding bolt for them then. The fuck away.
You fucked up, ghosts.
Came to
Oh.
the wrong Spelljammer.
Eat radiant damage, bitch.
You roll a guiding bolt for me.
Die.
Die.
Damn.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Okay. 18 will hit. Radiant damage.
Aiming
Love
at the
to see
one
it.
that's targeting Trixie.
Trixie.
3 6s.
Fuck.
God damn.
See here.
Do we have an exorcist here?
So, with that much radiant damage, you see this bolt go through the body of the one heading in your direction, Trix. And it immediately starts to dissipate, starting from the hole in its chest and seeming to fade and fade and fade until it disappears. But as Angela, you attack, this one that is heading towards you rushes you. And here. You can roll me an initiative order.
My Angela token. There's my Angela token.
Wait, was that just like one person or like all of us?
Anybody who thinks they're in on this fight can.
We are a team.
Do I see this fight?
You would have heard Angela calling. She was heading
Okay,
to the
okay.
deck when this happened. So you would have known that there was trouble. You probably got out of your mangonel slot just in time to see the first one disappear.
Oof.
Wow.
The seatbelt buckle, like, it's stuck.
Techway is stuck.
It's gonna take him a little
Techway.
bit.
Okay, that is a 19 plus what do shadows have?
How can I even roll that? Like, I don't even understand.
Yeah, don't you have a...
I have a
Like,
plus
It didn't
4.
count it didn't count your initiative mod.
Oh, that's whack. So it's a 5, actually. Not as bad. Never mind.
Still horrible.
There was still hope. But it rolled a 21.
How do I...
I did it for you.
Oh, thank you. Do I need to put that in the bonus? Like, in the total section, it says 4.
I think there's just a break in the code somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, Taylor initiative? Is Mandy at computer? Or is Little Pants still going to bed?
Do
If
I
she's
need to
not
roll
here,
initiative if I am just making sure the ship continues on?
If you would like to
Yeah.
remain in the Spelljammer chair, you can remain in the Spelljammer chair.
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think we'll need you if
No,
21
I'm
damage
here
is
if
enough
y'all.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm here to
I know.
heal if y'all need it.
Because I know that you can do, like, an onboard defense thing while still being in the chair, but
Yeah,
if busy, it's fine. Sorry.
You can cast through the ship if you're in the chair, but
Yeah.
This one goes first. It is heading towards Angela. Let me roll. Plus 4 is a 16 hit.
It does not.
Is light on deck. That does fine. so that is its turn. It rushes towards you and makes a swipe, reaching for your throat, and you're able to stand back just enough to avoid it grabbing you. Button, it is your turn.
Okay. Well, as soon as Button heard trouble, Button was taking out the staff. Button's out of spell slots, but you know what they got?
Shillelagh.
Shillelagh.
The
Shillelagh.
smacking stick.
Button is just slowly. Because imagine, like, the way it was before that Angela was leading them out onto the main deck. So the shadows were in between Angela and Button just sees this and just slowly takes out staff.
Takes out staff,
Well,
walks
it's a
under
stick.
table after
Yeah. Walks under table, just imbuing the staff with shillelagh as their bonus action. She's gonna walk up to the nearest one and just fucking snack it.
Hey, roll me an attack.
Oof.
12. That just hits.
Oh shit! 7 damage.
Damage. Okay. So you hit this thing. You can feel your staff as it swings meet a little bit of resistance, but it still passes through, and you can see the shadow warping and connecting again to form this silhouette of a person that's not quite a person. And the head swings in your direction, and both Angela and Button, even with your various kind of sensory differences, can feel a cold that is not just cold settle on you. Tricks.
I'm gonna move in and do a kick.
Hey, an attack.
Would this count as flanking since Button is behind?
Yes, it would.
And I'm in front of you, so
Well, you
trying to
guys
be
would
in
be
the room.
like this, essentially, is where you guys end up being.
yeah, that's
Yeah, okay.
what I meant. Yeah.
Okay, I just don't know where the things are.
Yeah, I'm not making a big
Okay.
map because it's not a big encounter.
So I'm okay to roll advantage here. Correct.
Yes.
Okay, just making sure.
Okay,
Good
that'll
stuff.
definitely hit.
And I will flurry of blows. So I get 2, right? Still checking. Yeah, 2.
Roll and
Would
roll.
these also be advantage?
Yep.
Cool.
Ooh, that's a crit.
Ooh.
Hey!
Let's go.
Do I click the button for roll damage or just tell you what the damage is?
Just tell me what the
D4 plus
damage is
3.
when you're critting, because the D&D Beyond sheet is not going to roll like we do for crits.
Yeah. It's 4 plus 3. So 7.
Okay.
And then 4.
The next one.
Second one. She kind of did like she lifted her leg really high, kicked across the cheek, backed her leg up again to use her heel essentially, and then straight again, going straight for the face.
And you just start tearing into this thing with all of your punches, and much like Button, you can feel resistance, but as you are actually physically hitting this thing, you can feel that odd, bone-deep chill starting in your feet and moving up your legs. And it almost gives you the sensation of being numb as you're kicking. But You continue to just kick and kick and kick and hit and hit and hit. And the shadows seem to be unable to close fast enough around your hits. And it dissolves, fades away into nothingness. And they are both gone.
I dare say 2 of us are going to be watching this log at all times until we return.
Okay. Who would like to watch it first? That's very good.
Oh, continue.
That's it, basically.
I did not understand what that was, Piper.
2 of us watching this book until we get home.
Wasn't it like in a box or something?
It was.
Maybe putting it back in there would help. I don't know.
Okay, I'll put it back in the box. Let's head home.
Okay. You put it back in the box.
Yes.
And continue flying towards home. And we will call it for tonight.
Okay.
I know it's getting a little bit late.
I would like to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Has there been enough time that we can do another mend, or no?
No. Because as
Okay,
you all are settling in, the ship does that warp again. And you could feel the time pass far faster than it should. In wild space, warping and moving around you as you are jettisoned off to another portion of simulation. And I will start off with a description of where you end up next time. You guys do not level up this time, unfortunately. There's a little bit left of this. However, you will be leveling up next session. So make sure all of you know exactly what you're wanting by next session, because when we hit break time, you guys will be leveling up.
Yeah. So, small question.
Mm-hmm.
Would that count as a short